All right, so this is a lesson about minor characters and how they see the world. So here's the thing. Very rarely do we kind of rely on the minor character's inner thoughts to tell us their perspective. A lot of the times we look at what they're doing and what they're saying instead. Remember, the narrator doesn't always give us the inner thoughts of a minor character because they're focused on the main character. So we are today going to be reading a passage from the short story that we read before. As you listen to this, I want you to think about a couple things. The first is, how does the minor character see the world? What is her perspective? What does the character's dialogue tell you about them and their perspective? And then what does their behavior or actions tell you? Okay. So I'm going to read this. We're going to talk about it in just a second. Okay. After the cop explains the situation, your pop will pull out an uncomfortable smile and vouch for you. He'll say you're a good kid and that you're just down here to play some ball at the gym at Balboa Park. He'll shake hands with the cop enthusiastically, thanking him for his service and apologizing for any trouble you may have caused. Soon, as the cop leaves, though, your pops will transform back into himself. Don't worry, though. Your power hoppy Penjango, he'll say, rubbing your shoulder. You didn't do anything wrong. I was just sleeping. Mexicans are allowed to sleep too. He'll look you straight in the eyes, nodding. And in this moment, you'll feel closer to your old man than ever before. Okay, so as I'm looking at this passage, it's kind of tricky, right? Because we don't actually know what he's thinking inside of his head or what he's feeling about this cop. But I will tell you, I kind of noticed that he starts to kind of say things in a way that makes me think that he needs to respect a police officer. So he says them enthusiastically. He makes sure that, he thanks him for his service. Those are kind of the things, that's the dialogue that I hear, that maybe his perspective on cops is that he has to respect them and you have to treat cops in a nice way, right? Because he is getting nervous. He has had a bad experience maybe with cops, right? He's very polite. So what happens is when you're extra polite, you're kind of overcompensating, right, for your nervousness. So that kind of tells me that he, has had maybe a bad experience with police and therefore feels the need to be polite. Also, I do see that he kind of, afterwards tells his son, you didn't do anything wrong, right? Like he's telling his son, you didn't do anything wrong. AK, there's no reason why he should have pulled you over. So obviously he didn't actually agree with the cop, right? Like he didn't agree that he should have been taken out of the car and talked to. But he acted like he agreed when the cop came. It's interesting, okay? So maybe his perspective on the world are that, cops can be dangerous and you have to respect them or else something could happen. And that's kind of what I get from that, okay? So that's what stands out to me. We're using his dialogue. You'll notice that he's also very calm and collected, and he apologizes. He shakes hands. That's a really definitive action. He's shaking hands. That's a sign of peace, right? And politeness. That shows me, okay, he feels like he has to be polite. So this is what I want you to do with your own story. Okay, so you've read a short story. You read it the last time we had class. You're going to go back to that story. And today in this particular session, you're going to have 10 minutes and you are going to do a character mind map of one of the minor characters in your story. Now in this story, the minor character was his dad, his father, right? You're going to find a minor character in your story and you are going to write down in a character mind map the following things, okay? How does the minor character see the world? What does the character's dialogue tell you? And what does their behavior or actions tell you? Now, that's all related into perspective, right? So we're going to go to that right now. Okay, so this is the character mind map. You're going to find this in the homework folder, the Unit 2 homework folder. So basically, the directions are that you are using your story's minor characters to fill this out. And these are the things that you're focusing on. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is an example. So this is kind of how you're going to fill it out. So how I see the world. So for this guy, for this particular guy, I would say that he feels like he has to be polite to the police and has had a bad experience with police before. That's what I would put, because I think that's his perspective. And then, of course, what do I say to show my world perspective? Well, I would obviously, I would share the dialogue that, well, he didn't actually necessarily say anything, but I would say, don't worry about the power hoppy Penjango. Okay, so that means that he knows that this guy is power hungry. I would put that there. Okay. I also would say that he apologized. I would put right here, I would say he apologized to the cop and was polite. And then what actions or behaviors? Shaking hands, right? That's what I would do. You're shaking hands with the police officers. Okay. And then maybe the rubbing of the shoulder. His dad rubbing his son's shoulder to kind of comfort him because he knows how terrifying that experience could be. So that's what you're doing. You're also going to write the title and the character, so the main character's name and the story title's name. All of that you're going to do right here in this third slide. Okay. Real quick, this again is going to be under Unit 2 homework character mind map. And once you're done with it, go ahead and submit it. Okay. All right, you'll have 10 minutes starting now to do this. Good luck. I will see you guys in the next breakout room session. Bye.